podcast. I'm Vina Ip. In podcast 14, we talked about why it's not the best time to buy private residential properties now. But if you're currently looking to buy a home for your own stay, should you buy Resale HDB instead? Let's discuss it in this video. Last week, 99.co came up with an article titled, "Why Now is the Best Time to Buy an HDB Resale Flat." The author concludes that now is a really good time for buyers to consider HDB resale flats because of 4 reasons. Firstly, resale flat prices are getting more affordable. Secondly, grants were raised for first-time home buyers of resale flats last year. Furthermore, the next BTO launch sites don't look amazing. Plus, the next few ECs are looking a little bit pricey. We shouldn't buy any property just because it looks more affordable now, or the government is giving out higher subsidies, because when the market goes south, the drop in prices can easily offset the small price difference or the government grant. The only question is, if you're not interested in the locations of new BTOs and ECs, or ECs and condos are too pricey for you, should you buy resale HDB then? I think we all want to know, will HDB resale prices continue to fall? The September SRX Media Flash report for HDB resale shows that year-on-year, prices in September 2018 decreased by 2.1% from September 2017. Prices last month were down by 14.2% from its peak in April 2013. The SPI of HDB is 130.8, which is down to the level of 7.5 years ago back in March or April 2011. It is true that resale flats are getting more affordable these days, but will prices be even more affordable months or years down the road? The SRX article said, if you are still thinking to wait and see until HDB resale prices drop even more, there's little chance of that happening, as property prices do not usually transact below valuation, except in exceptional circumstances such as an economic downturn. I have reservations about the statement. When HDB resale prices started falling from 2013, every now and then we would hear voices from the market that prices will not drop further. History told us that whether and how far prices rise or drop is not under our control. The same applies to unexpected situations such as economic downturn and recession. To save the HDB resale market, we need to stimulate demand from the creation of new households. A stagnant and aging population, such as no fertility, late marriage, and limited PR quota, is not helping. The government's launch of 17,000 new BTO flats this year is also competing with the small HDB resale market. While the days of paying high cash over valuation may be over, I agree with the author that prices do not usually transact below valuation. Why? Because HDB is more for own stay, unlike private properties that might be bought for investment. Unless the owners need money or have to upgrade, usually they won't sell their homes at a loss. Why more about HDB resale flats? Although HDB resale volume decreases by 3.9% last month, year-on-year resale volume is 18.7% higher than last September. In fact, we haven't seen resale volume crosses the 2,000 mark for years. We are not sure whether the healthy growth in volume is the temporary result after the July cooling measures. When buyers can't afford 5 to 10% more cash down payment for condos, they have to go for HDB. Or it can be the result of more unbought owners downgrading to large-size HDB flats to save the bulk of their jackpot money for retirement. Anyway, if the growth in volume is sustainable and the public can slowly get over the aging HDB flat concern, hopefully prices will gradually pick up from the bottom. Which property types should you buy? Every time when you see any property data, don't just look at the figures in the headlines. Go deeper into the breakdown until you see the full picture. For the case of HDB resale market, what you see in the media articles is only the overall percentages, which can be meaningless because of the variety of property type for HDB. If you break it down into 3-room, 4-room, 5-room executive flats and calculate the price drop from last month versus from their last peak, you will notice that prices of 3-room flats have fallen 20%, followed by 14% of 4-room flats. On the contrary, prices of 5-room and executive flats are still quite high for the last 5 years in a booming economy. Personally, I will go for 3-room flats because of the reasonable price correction. Of course, some may be older flats, some may be in unpopular locations. But during an economic downturn, more people will be downgrading from bigger flats to smaller flats. And that's the time when you see prices of three-room flats go up because of higher demand. On the contrary, prices of large-size HDB flats will fall. At that time, prices of condo will also drop. You may as well wait to buy private homes then. Above all, except one-room flats, all HDB flats purchased either from the government or the open market comes with the mandatory minimum occupation period (MOP) of 5 years. So even if condo prices drop to a very attractive level in the next 5 years, you still can't upgrade under the restriction of MOP. If you're buying a three-room flat assuming the private market is beyond your budget, you shouldn't be too concerned about the MOP anyway. What about the age of HDB flats? In the last few months, there are a lot of discussion and worries about what will happen to HDB flats when the lease is running out on their 99-year lease. People wake up to the fact that HDB flats can be a depreciating liability rather than an appreciating asset. But this is nothing new. Aging HDB blocks have always been around. They are sold on 99-year lease from day one. You know very well the age of your home, and you are not in the dark that only 4% of all flats were selected for SERPs. The fact that you are not aware of something doesn't mean it is not there. HDB flats will age. It is not a problem. It is a fact. It is not necessary to magnify a fact. It is like one fine day you look into the mirror and suddenly notice you have fine lines on your face. You are shocked and you use a magnifying glass to examine every inch of your face or for more wrinkles, or you comb through your hair to find some grey hair. The truth is, you can't avoid aging of properties anyway. Aging is not limited to HDB flats. It doesn't matter whether you buy HDB, private apartments, condo or landed. Your home will be old and depreciate in value over time. Property is like human beings. You will age no matter what. The difference is whether you know what to do to maintain your health and age slowly and gracefully. In that case, you don't have to be afraid of growing old again. I'm not staying in an HDB flat. I don't plan to buy one. The above is only my personal views. Do take note that they are not buying recommendations. Anytime you buy a property, you should look at your affordability, my 3-3-5 rule, and your personal situation before making a decision. Hope you learned something from the video. If you like it, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and I'll be seeing you again next time.